Hello, I'm Toby Rutter and this is the third instalment of my Year 1 FMP reflection videos. We're now deep into the research and development process. We spent this week carrying on our character work, and then we did some scene work in the afternoon of our project day. So how the morning looked was we spent all morning up until the lunch break continuing presenting our character research posters and looking into the traits, characteristics, and ideas for each character, which has been tremendously helpful with getting an idea of how we as performers might portray each character, and looking at how, if we're not playing that character, how might we engage with that character as a performer. And once we'd finished that felt like a win once we'd finished that, because we'd been doing it for just over half the day last week, and then again half the day this week, which I think I mentioned in my video last week. It's been slightly challenging keeping the focus and keeping the motivation during something that can become quite tedious when you're just doing the same thing for hours on end. But still, it was really helpful to get it done, and it felt like a big win once we'd got through all the characters. Going into the afternoon, I think it was a chance for our director, Sophie, to gain a better understanding of how we work as individuals and performers, and to see what roles we might best fit. So in small groups of 3, we did some scene work. We were assigned our scenes and we just worked through for half an hour, blocking the scene. And it was made clear that they didn't need to be finished, polished pieces and scenes. They just needed to be very basic, half an hour of blocking, and getting a look at how we might stage it and how we might perform the characters. And I think it was a really good exercise to do. Number 1, for Sophie, to gain a better understanding of us, and number 2, for us to gain an even better understanding of the play. And one thing that came out of it was I realised it's not going to be easy to stage, because within the script there's very few stage directions, there's not a lot of action going on. It's a very dialogue heavy play, so it's really not going to be easy to stage. But it was a very helpful exercise. We then finished it and performed our scenes to one another as a group, and it was nice to do some acting. A lot of us on the course are doing the course for the acting, and it was nice to sort of step away from the theory-led R&D work and go into some performance. So yeah, that was really nice. I am finding that the research and development, we haven't done anything yet that I've thought, oh, how is this going to help? Everything we're doing is helping me as a performer gain a better understanding of how I might play a character. It's also helping me get a better understanding of how Sophie works and what she might like to see within her vision of the play. And it's also, on a sort of wider spectrum, helping me to understand how I work, and what I might like to see within the play. Not that it's up to me, but, ideas, whether we mean to have ideas or not, they still come, and we think, oh, that could be good or that could be good. So it's helping me on a wider spectrum gain an understanding of that. So yeah, we still haven't been casted. I think I've said that in every video so far, but again, no bad thing. Sophie's still gaining an understanding of us, and I think it's so much better to wait and cast later on and cast well than cast straight away and then regret it further down the line. So yes, I'm not entirely sure what we're doing next week, actually. Sophie was very vague about it. I'm not sure if we are being casted. We've now anonymously told Sophie what roles we might like to see ourselves in. I submitted that I can see myself playing the mayor. I feel like that's a role I can really sink my teeth into and enjoy. So yes, that'd be interesting next week, reporting back on what we have done, especially as I speak, I have no idea. So yes, this has been video number 3. It's still all ticking along nicely. We're working towards being casted, working towards getting into the rehearsal process. Yes, thank you for watching.